really doesn't take a whole lot to make a list, and I did. I made a list, several lists, about the legislation that I thought that the General Assembly of the State of Rhode Island, my name is Robert Perry, talking to you from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. What we need to focus on is the legislation that they could pass and send on to the Senate, who would send it on to the governor, all within the next few days, and that they won't. The first is to legalize marijuana, because we want our $75 million back first. Then we'll arrest you. All of you who were involved in stealing the $75 million, or using the $75 million, or touching, or playing with, or pointing at any connection. You see, once you've put a footprint into the cloud, into the world of the internet, it never disappears. So a warning, a very direct warning to all of the members of the General Assembly and some of the Senate. Whatever you did that connects you to 38 studios, to the thievery that was accomplished by we don't know whom, but it was done right in front of our face. We want it back. Anybody who touched that money, anybody who touched that deal, either has to say what they know, or they have to resign and take their medicine. Now, onward and upward. We need to legalize marijuana, get $75 million back like that. We need to decriminalize all drugs, so that anybody who's in possession of a drug would be much more likely to tell the police officers where they got them. So that if whoever sold them the drugs deals with a big enough quantity to break federal law, even if state law says that the drug is not criminal, they can still be arrested and taken off the street along with their guns and all the other bad people that they associate themselves with to sell this illegal product, which is worth so much money for such small quantities, when in reality it's worth nothing. It's garbage, all of it, including alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, heroin. It's all garbage. It's all a waste of time. Don't we wish that we wouldn't waste any of our lives, but we will. So, right up front, $75 million they stole. That was a crime. We decriminalized marijuana through the taxes. We'll recoup the $75 million. We can spend as much as we need to decriminalize and set up a drug court system and a treatment on demand system in the state of Rhode Island that will make us safer, make our children safer, make our future brighter, and get back the $75 million. We want it back. And we don't care that you don't like the smell of marijuana, any more than we care about the fact that you don't like the look of the windmill. Well, too damn bad. The next law is that we should provide tax incentives to all Rhode Island residents who utilize the natural power that can be generated from their home. That's the wind that blows by and the sun that shines down. If they take advantage of the water, the wind, and the sun that falls upon their property, they should be able to recoup the investment that they have made to pull the energy from nature to electrify their home naturally from the sun, from the wind, from utilizing the water that falls from the sky. If they do that, they should get a tax write-off. They should get an incentive. So that's two. We legalize marijuana, decriminalize drugs. It'll get us back our $75 million and get us on the path to getting rid of these thugs for good. We have no reason to let anyone sell small amounts of those horrible drugs so they can addict people, so they can cause more criminals. If we made the drugs worthless, then the worst thing those people would do is hurt themselves. And if we had treatment on demand, they'd go into treatment, there would be less customers for the thugs, there would be less need for them, they would soon die off, like the dinosaurs. So we decriminalize marijuana and all the hard drugs, treatment on demand, we'll get our $75 million back. In the meantime, we have to push forward the idea of renewable energy, and we have to provide incentives so that every homeowner in the state of Rhode Island utilizes whatever natural energy comes upon his property, whether it comes down by the sun or blows by the wind, or whatever procedure he would use or she would use that would be a renewable system. They should be rewarded for that. Those two things alone would get us so much further into the future. It's incredible. We have to save our bay. It's not a small issue, but we are a small state, and as much as I want to save the world and I want the world to embrace renewable energy, not as a new alternative or a great kitschy idea, but as the law of the land. Everyone should utilize 100% of the renewable energy that is available to them. At this point, that's not much of a thing because there's not so much available. But if we incentivize the utilization of renewable energy, we will then in turn save the earth. That's all I can say about that. This is an incredibly fantastic state. We're the first to set up wind turbines offshore, and this small-minded teabag, nutbag Baker over in Massachusetts decided that we don't need all those windmills. That's some crazy liberal idea. I think the Republicans as a group should retire. They should have one big party and retire right off the bat. What I say, my third bill, to of course decriminalize, incentivize, decriminalize drugs, incentivize renewable energy on every level, and then thirdly, this would be a bill, but it would be an action that needs to be taken through the governor. We need to buy all the energy that will be produced by the offshore wind turbines, which will eventually be risen out of the ocean off the coast of Massachusetts. There are people who didn't like that, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen now, or it's going to happen when young Mr. Kennedy is gray. I love where I'm from. Rhode Island is a beautiful state. I embrace all the great people of the past, Kennedys, Pells, Chafees. We have great names, we have a great past, but now is the future. We need to replace the entire General Assembly. We're giving them this last chance. Seize on one of these new ideas, not just these that I've brought about or brought to your attention, but to the General Assembly I say, come up with new ideas. Save our state. Legalize and tax marijuana now, before Massachusetts does, and we will make a buttload of money. We will blow out of the water the $75 million that Schilling helped Gordon steal, and his second in command, who now runs the General Assembly, just didn't notice, but he had his hand. How was it, like this? Is this the old Rhode Island way? Yeah, reaching back for the freaking money. I'm telling you, I'm talking to the General Assembly. Come up with some new ideas. We need to legalize and tax marijuana because it's immediate. We need a $15 minimum wage because it is necessary. We need to decriminalize and give treatment on demand for hard drugs, and decriminalize, or rather legalize and tax marijuana to get our money back. We need to provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every student in the state of Rhode Island. And if we need school to be 365 days a year to get these children off the streets, then that's what we'll do. We don't need to stick to a party. We are a party of 1 million voters. Now let's get it together, and let's kick off the biggest legislative party in the history of time. It may not be this particular group of legislators that does it, but if not, it will be the next. And they'll be ready. We've got a game plan. Let's do it. Save the earth, legalize marijuana, tax the heck out of it, $15 an hour minimum wage. Let's make Rhode Island the greatest little state in the world. We are exactly perfect. The right size, the right time. This is the year. Make our move. Thank you.